Have you ever wondered just how much strength you're carrying inside? Strength you've never even touched. Most people live their lives leaning on others for approval, for direction, for permission. But deep down, you already hold everything you need. The Buddha once reminded us, the real failure is not being untrue to the world, but being untrue to yourself. Imagine walking through life with an unshakable confidence, no longer chained to the opinions or support of others. Imagine facing challenges not as obstacles, but as mirrors reflecting back your hidden power. What if the key to your freedom, your success, and your peace of mind was not out there somewhere, but waiting quietly within you? In today's journey, we'll unlock that truth. Together, we'll explore the art of standing strong on your own, without fear, without doubt, and without the need for approval. By the end, you'll see how Buddhist wisdom and simple, practical steps can awaken the kind of self-reliance that reshapes your entire life. This isn't just another video, it's an invitation to meet the strongest version of yourself. Are you ready to begin? Lesson 1. No one is coming to save you. We often live with the quiet hope that someone will appear to fix our lives. Maybe a mentor will guide us, a friend will lift us up, or a partner will rescue us from our struggles. But waiting for someone else to solve our problems keeps us powerless. It turns us into bystanders in our own story. The truth is simple, yet hard to accept. No one is coming. Your life will only change when you decide to step forward and take responsibility for it. Self-reliance is not about isolation or cold independence. It is about discovering the strength within you to face what life brings. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can, and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." These words cut through every illusion. No teacher, no friend, not even the Buddha himself can hand you enlightenment. You must walk it. You must live it. In Buddhism, this is why the Eightfold Path matters. It isn't a gift someone can place in your handset, it's a road you must choose to walk with your own effort, step by step. Right thought, right action, right mindfulness, each one demands personal responsibility. The path cannot be walked for you. Think of Siddhartha Gautama's own story. He left behind wealth, comfort, and security, not because someone told him to, but because he realized the truth. No one else could solve the riddle of suffering for him. Years of meditation and discipline led him to sit beneath the Bodhi tree, alone. It was in that solitude that he awakened. His journey proves that the greatest transformations always rise from within. Being alone does not mean being lonely. In fact, solitude is where you discover how strong you really are. When you stop waiting for someone to save you, you find an unshakable resilience. Each decision, each step, builds confidence that you can endure, adapt, and overcome. Self-reliance is not survival. It is empowerment. It is knowing that you already carry the tools to create the life you desire. When you take full ownership of your journey, you unlock a freedom no one can take away. So stop waiting for a rescuer. The savior you've been hoping for is already here. It's you. Each time you choose to trust your own strength, you walk closer to the life you long for. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles doesn't begin when someone else shows up. It begins the moment you decide to take the first step. Lesson 2. Prioritize yourself. We live in a world where putting yourself first is often mistaken for selfishness. Yet Buddhism teaches the opposite truth. If you neglect your own well-being, you have little to give to others. The Buddha once said, "If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete." Real compassion begins with the self because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing yourself starts with self-care. This doesn't mean indulgence. It means creating space to rest, heal, and recharge. It's about protecting your mental clarity, nourishing your body, and honoring your emotions. It means setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and remembering that your worth is not tied to how much you sacrifice for others. When you care for yourself in this way, you don't weaken relationships, you strengthen them. But self-care is only the foundation. Personal growth is the structure you build on top of it. Growth means chasing your passions, setting goals that challenge you, and feeding your mind with knowledge and new experiences. It's a lifelong practice of becoming, not for recognition, not for praise, but because your spirit longs to expand. Every book you read, every new skill you learn, every challenge you face is a step toward becoming the strongest version of yourself. In Buddhism, self-reflection and mindfulness guide this process. Through these practices, you uncover what you truly need, what inspires you, and where your heart is leading you. By turning inward, you become more centered, balanced, and capable of offering authentic compassion outward. When you strengthen yourself, you naturally uplift those around you. Think of the Buddha's own journey. Before he became the enlightened one, Siddhartha Gautama walked away from a life of privilege and comfort. He dedicated years to meditation, discipline, and deep self-discovery. Only after transforming himself did he begin to guide others. His story is a reminder that helping the world begins with the work you do on yourself. When you prioritize your growth, you build resilience for life's storms. You become grounded, no longer swayed by every challenge or opinion. You cultivate the inner tools to stand tall, no matter the weight of what you face. And from this strength, your influence ripples outward. Your presence alone becomes a source of inspiration and guidance for others. So take time each day to choose yourself, sit in silence and reconnect with your inner voice. Engage in practices that nourish your body, mind, and spirit. Write down your goals and take even the smallest step toward them. Each choice you make to grow and care for yourself is not selfish. It is sacred. By prioritizing yourself, you awaken the kind of strength that empowers you to face challenges with clarity and grace. And as you grow, you'll notice something beautiful. Your light doesn't just shine for you, it illuminates the path for others as well. Lesson 3. Stay motivated yourself. There's a danger in leaning too heavily on others for encouragement. It never lasts. A friend's words can inspire you for a day. A video can give you a spark for an hour. But what happens when that spark fades? If your fire depends on someone else to light it, you'll spend your life waiting in the dark. True progress comes from an inner flame that cannot be blown out by silence or absence. This is self-motivation, an energy that rises from within and carries you forward, even when no one is watching, even when the world feels indifferent. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." These words hold the secret. Motivation is not about waiting for the right moment or the right push. It is about shaping your thoughts so they work for you instead of against you. When your mind believes in your path, your body naturally follows. How do you cultivate this kind of inner drive? It begins with goals that come from your own heart. Not borrowed dreams, not what others expect of you, but the vision that truly matters to your spirit. When your goals align with your values, motivation flows naturally. Break them into small, achievable steps and celebrate each milestone. Every small victory feeds your inner momentum. But goals alone are not enough. You must become your own encourager. Practice positive self-talk. Remind yourself of your past resilience. Speak to yourself not with doubt, but with strength. Simple phrases like, "I am capable," "I will continue," "I have done it before," and "I can do it again," can transform the way you show up each day. Buddhism teaches that the mind shapes reality. Through mindfulness, you learn to notice the distractions, doubts, and negative voices that pull you off course. Through intention, you redirect your focus back to what matters. With mindfulness and intention combined, you create a mindset that fuels motivation instead of draining it. Think of Siddhartha Gautama's journey. Before he became the Buddha, he faced unimaginable hardships, hunger, physical exhaustion, endless doubts. Yet he did not abandon his path. His motivation was not given to him by others. It burned within him, steady and unshakable, until it carried him to enlightenment. His story is living proof of the power of self-motivation. But self-motivation is not a one-time achievement. It's a practice. Take time to reflect on your progress. Ask yourself, what still inspires me? What needs to change? Where am I losing focus? These questions keep your drive alive and your journey aligned. And when doubt arrives, as it always does, return to your why. Why did you begin? Why does this path matter to you? Anchor yourself to that reason. Speak it, write it, meditate on it until it feels alive again. Remember this, your journey is yours alone. You will have supporters along the way, but no one else can walk your path for you. With self-motivation, you hold the strength to keep going, to rise after setbacks, to create a life shaped by your own determination. Your mind is the soil, and your thoughts are the seeds. Plant them with care, water them with belief, and watch them grow into the reality you desire. Stay motivated yourself, and no obstacle can keep you from the life you are meant to build. Lesson 4. Discover who you truly are. There is nothing more disorienting than moving through life without knowing yourself. Without clarity of who you are, your values, and your deepest desires, every path feels uncertain. You drift from one choice to another, chasing what others expect, while a quiet voice inside whispers that something is missing. True direction begins with a journey inward, the journey of self-discovery. This journey starts with awareness. Mindfulness and reflection are not just spiritual practices, they are tools for seeing yourself clearly. The Buddha once said, "In the sky, there is no east and west. It is people who create these distinctions and then believe them to be true." In the same way, many of the labels and roles we cling to are illusions, constructed by society, family, or even by our own fears. To uncover your authentic self, you must look beyond those illusions. Self-awareness is the first step. Pay attention to your thoughts, your reactions, and the emotions that rise in you. What beliefs have shaped your choices? Which patterns keep repeating in your life? Awareness is like a mirror. It reveals not just who you are today, but also what has been holding you back. From there, you can begin to choose consciously, instead of being driven by old habits or borrowed identities. Clarity also comes from knowing your values and goals. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What am I willing to stand for, even when it is difficult? What kind of life would feel meaningful to me? When your actions reflect your deepest values, every step begins to feel purposeful. Instead of drifting, you move forward with intention. Buddhist practice has always pointed toward uncovering our true nature. Meditation is the key. It quiets the noise of the outside world and allows you to hear your inner voice. In stillness, the layers of expectation and comparison fall away, and what remains is your essence. This is not something you invent, it is something you uncover, like clearing the dust from a mirror so it reflects clearly again. Solitude is often the stage where this discovery unfolds. Alone, without distractions, you can finally listen to yourself. Alone, you notice the thoughts that usually get drowned out by busyness. Far from being loneliness, solitude becomes the sacred ground where you meet your truest self. The Buddha's own awakening shows us the importance of this. After years of extreme self-denial and indulgence, he realized that neither path revealed the truth. Instead, he discovered the middle way, balance. In that moment, he understood his true nature and opened the door to enlightenment. His realization was not about adopting another label. It was about letting go of false ones and living in harmony with his authentic self. The same lesson applies to us. Finding out who you are is not about perfection, nor is it about pleasing everyone around you. It is about peeling away illusions until only truth remains. When you understand your values, when you connect with your inner essence, you create a foundation strong enough to carry you through any challenge. This path of self-discovery is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. Each day offers another chance to reflect, to adjust, and to grow closer to the person you were always meant to be. With patience and honesty, the fog begins to lift, and you begin to see your direction clearly. So take time each day to sit in silence. Reflect on your experiences, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Ask yourself what each moment is teaching you about who you are. Let go of the false stories you've been told about yourself and listen to the deeper truth within. The reward for this work is profound: peace, clarity, and an authentic life that feels like your own. When you finally know yourself, you no longer drift aimlessly, you walk with purpose. And as the Buddha's teachings remind us, this understanding is the key to both freedom and fulfillment. Lesson 5. Train your life alone. When we lean too heavily on others to guide every step, something vital is lost. Comfort becomes a cage, and dependence steals the chance to discover our own strength. Growth with constant supervision may feel safe, but it rarely builds resilience. To truly evolve, you must dare to step forward on your own, to train your life with your own two hands. Independent growth is transformative. When you decide to shape your life alone, you become the architect of your own destiny. You no longer wait for direction. You create it. Self-discipline, resilience, and confidence are no longer abstract ideas. They become your lived reality. The Buddha once said, "An idea that is developed and put into action is more important than an idea that exists only as an idea." Independent training is exactly that, taking your vision, your ideas, and moving them from thought into action. Each step you take, no matter how small, transforms possibility into progress. Independent learning doesn't mean isolation. It means initiative. It is the choice to seek wisdom, to sharpen skills, to stretch beyond what you thought possible, without waiting for someone else to push you. This is how you uncover what truly excites you, what you value, and what you are capable of. Continuous self-improvement becomes the rhythm of your life, not because others demand it, but because you are devoted to your own growth. Self-discipline becomes your anchor, the ability to remain focused and consistent even when no one is watching. With every act of personal effort, you grow stronger, steadier, more resilient. Buddhism has always emphasized this kind of personal responsibility. Enlightenment is not handed down by teachers. It is walked step by step through one's own practice. The Eightfold Path itself is a call to individual effort, reminding us that no one can meditate for us, no one can purify our mind on our behalf. Think of Siddhartha Gautama before he became the Buddha. His greatest breakthroughs came in solitude. He spent years in meditation, disciplining his mind, refining his understanding. Alone beneath the Bodhi tree, his unwavering dedication carried him to enlightenment. His story reveals a truth that applies to us all. The deepest transformations come from within when we commit to training ourselves. So how can you begin? Start with clarity. Identify the areas of life you want to strengthen. Set goals that inspire you and break them into daily practices. Read, reflect. Learn new skills. Stretch beyond your comfort zone. Track your progress not to impress others, but to remind yourself how far you've come. Remember, this journey never ends. There will always be another lesson, another skill, another challenge. But that is the beauty of it. You become a student of life itself, always growing, always evolving. Training your life alone does not mean cutting yourself off from others. It means taking full responsibility for your own growth. It is the practice of saying, "I will not wait to be shaped. I will shape myself." When you live this way, you build a foundation of strength no one can take from you. You trust yourself, you rely on your own effort, and when challenges appear, you face them not with fear, but with the quiet confidence of someone who has been preparing all along. So train your life alone. Take action on your ideas, nurture your growth with discipline, and walk forward with determination. In doing so, you become not just stronger, but unshakably self-reliant, the kind of person who can meet life's storms and still keep walking. Lesson 6. Train yourself alone through self-discipline. One of the greatest barriers between who you are today and who you could become is a lack of discipline. Without it, Goals remain nothing more than daydreams, and potential stays locked away, never fully lived. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. It is the daily decision to choose growth over comfort. Self-discipline is not about punishing yourself or forcing rigid control. It is about creating habits and structures that carry you toward your higher purpose. It is the quiet strength of showing up, even when motivation fades. True discipline is choosing consistency over excuses, focus over distraction, and long-term growth over momentary ease. The Buddha once said, "It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Then the victory is yours." This is the heart of discipline. The world outside is unpredictable, but the real struggle, the one that determines our destiny, happens within. Every time you rise above procrastination, resist the pull of distraction, or keep a promise to yourself, you win a victory that no one can take from you. Building self-discipline begins with small, deliberate steps. Create a daily rhythm that reflects the life you want to live. Schedule time for learning, reflection, and practice. Protect those moments fiercely. Over time, these small, steady acts create momentum, like drops of water that carve through stone. Ask yourself, where do you need discipline most? Is it the habit of beginning tasks instead of delaying them? Is it protecting your focus from constant interruptions? Identify these weak points, then design routines and environments that help you stay on track. Each time you follow through, your discipline grows stronger. Buddhism places great emphasis on effort and responsibility. Enlightenment does not arrive through luck or chance. It comes from disciplined practice. The Eightfold Path itself is built on consistent right effort. Day after day, moment after moment, choosing to live in alignment with wisdom and compassion. Think of Siddhartha Gautama before his awakening. Years of deep meditation, ethical living, and disciplined reflection shaped him into the Buddha. Alone, under the Bodhi tree, it was not comfort that carried him to enlightenment, but discipline, the refusal to give up until the truth was found. His story reveals a universal lesson. Discipline is not a cage, but a key that unlocks freedom. When you train yourself in this way, solitude becomes strength. Instead of fearing being alone, you use it as fertile ground for growth. Discipline transforms solitude into progress. It ensures that each day, even in silence, you are moving closer to your purpose. The gift of self-discipline is steady progress. It makes goals attainable, focus natural, and obstacles less daunting. Over time, consistency becomes second nature, and success follows almost inevitably. Discipline shapes not only your habits but also your character, carving you into someone resilient, reliable, and free. So train yourself alone. Let discipline be your compass, your guide, and your strength. Each small act of consistency is a step toward greatness. Remember, the greatest victory is not over the world outside, it is the victory over yourself. And once you claim that victory, it is yours forever. Lesson 7. Stop comparing and honor your own path. Few things steal joy as quickly as comparison. The moment you measure yourself against another, you trade peace for doubt. You see someone else's highlights, their success, their confidence, their beauty, and suddenly your own life feels small. But what you forget is this: you are not walking their path, and they are not walking yours. Comparison is a trap because it blinds us to the truth of our own progress. Instead of recognizing how far we've come, we chase after shadows that were never meant to be ours. When you live this way, you miss the quiet victories, moments of growth, resilience, and self-discovery that make your journey unique. The Buddha once taught, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." When you stay grounded in the present, comparison loses its grip. You stop worrying about where others are on their path and begin to see the beauty of where you stand right now. Avoiding comparison doesn't mean ignoring others. It means shifting your gaze inward. Ask yourself, What strengths do I already carry? What have I overcome that once felt impossible? What values truly guide me? These questions reconnect you to yourself and remind you that your progress can only be measured against your own beginnings. Growth happens when you set your own benchmarks. Celebrate small milestones as real victories, because they are. Every step you take in alignment with your values is proof that you are moving in the right direction. Gratitude helps here too. Instead of focusing on what you lack, reflect on what you already have and who you are becoming. Gratitude transforms comparison into appreciation. Buddhism teaches that each person's path is their own. Even the Buddha told his disciples, enlightenment cannot be given. It must be discovered through one's own practice. Your journey is not meant to mirror anyone else's. It is meant to unfold in the way that is right for you. Being alone can make this lesson clearer. In solitude, there is no one to measure yourself against, only the mirror of your own growth. Free from constant comparison, you can finally see your life with clarity. You can recognize your effort, your resilience, and your progress without distortion. Remember, success is not a competition. It is alignment. When your life reflects your values, when your daily choices bring you peace and purpose, that is true success. So release the weight of comparison. Honor your own pace. Trust that where you are now is exactly where you need to be. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. And when you stop looking outward and begin to walk your path with presence, you discover a freedom that comparison could never give. Lesson 8. Set the right goal for yourself. Many people spend their lives climbing ladders only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. They chase goals handed to them by society, family, or peers, becoming doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, or achievers, only to reach the summit and feel an emptiness they can't explain. Success without alignment feels hollow, and no amount of recognition can fill that void. That's why setting the right goal is essential. Not the goal others expect of you, but the goal that arises from the deepest part of your being. Take time to reflect. What excites me? What feels meaningful? What lights a fire in my heart, even when no one is watching? These are the questions that point you toward goals worth pursuing. The Buddha once said, "Your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it." This isn't just advice, it's a challenge. A reminder that the path to fulfillment is not about chasing what others admire, but about discovering your own truth and dedicating yourself to it fully. There's a difference between external and personal goals. External goals are shaped by pressure, comparison, or expectation. They sound impressive but rarely feel satisfying. Personal goals, however, are born from within. They align with your values, your passions, and your unique calling. When you pursue these, every step feels alive with meaning, even when progress is slow. Finding the right goal requires honesty. Look back on your life. What moments brought you genuine joy? Which efforts made you feel alive, even if no one else noticed? These are clues pointing to your true path. Let these insights guide your intentions. In Buddhism, this is called right intention, living with goals and desires that reflect your authentic self and ethical principles. Right intention doesn't just guide your actions. It shapes the entire direction of your life. It ensures that your energy isn't wasted chasing illusions, but instead is invested in something that nourishes your soul. When your goals come from within, motivation flows naturally. Obstacles feel lighter because your purpose gives you the strength to keep going. You don't abandon your path at the first sign of struggle. You persist because the goal matters deeply to you. Think of Siddhartha Gautama before he became the Buddha. His purpose was clear: to understand the truth of suffering and find liberation. No one set that goal for him. It wasn't society's expectation. It came from his heart. His unwavering dedication to that inner goal led him to enlightenment and transformed the lives of millions for generations. That is the power of choosing goals that align with your soul. They carry you beyond success into fulfillment. Every step becomes a victory because each action is infused with meaning. So take time to ask yourself, are the goals I'm chasing truly mine or someone else's? If they don't feel authentic, release them. Instead, set goals that echo your inner voice and pursue them with all your heart. When you do, you will find not just achievement, but purpose, peace, and lasting satisfaction. Lesson 9. Trust your abilities and embrace solitude. One of the greatest battles you'll ever face is not against the world outside, but against the voice inside that whispers, "You're not enough." Self-doubt is like a shadow. It follows you quietly, convincing you to shrink, to hesitate, to hold back from what you're truly capable of. But here's the truth. You are far stronger than you allow yourself to believe. Belief in yourself is not arrogance. It's the foundation of growth. The Buddha once said, "He is able who thinks he is able." Your thoughts shape your reality. If you believe you are capable, that belief creates the courage and persistence needed to succeed. If you doubt yourself, even the smallest obstacle becomes a mountain. So how do you break free from doubt? Start by noticing it. When the thought appears, "I can't do this," don't accept it as truth. Ask, is this belief helping me or holding me back? Then replace it with words of strength. I am capable. I am strong. I can walk this path. Simple affirmations, repeated consistently, reshape the way you see yourself. Over time, they turn doubt into confidence. Every one of us carries unique abilities. Your talents may not look like someone else's, but they are yours, and they matter. Instead of waiting for others to validate you, learn to recognize and celebrate your own strengths. Each small step forward is evidence that you can. Every victory, no matter how small, is proof that you are moving closer to your potential. Buddhism teaches that every person holds the seed of enlightenment. In the same way, you hold the seed of greatness. That seed only grows when you nurture it with self-belief and action. But here's where solitude plays its role. Being alone often magnifies self-doubt. It feels louder when there's no one around to reassure you. Yet, solitude is not your enemy. It is your training ground. When you choose to embrace time alone, you give yourself the chance to hear your own voice more clearly. Not the voice of doubt, but the deeper voice of wisdom and potential. Think of the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree. He faced distraction, temptation, and fear, but he stayed rooted in meditation, alone. It was in that solitude that he transcended doubt and found enlightenment. His story is not just about silence, it's about courage. It shows us that solitude is not emptiness. It is a sacred space where self-belief takes root and grows unshakable. So, view solitude not as loneliness, but as empowerment. Sit in silence. Reflect on your strengths. Allow your mind the stillness it needs to reveal your inner clarity. In that quiet, you discover resilience you didn't know you had, and you strengthen the bond of trust with yourself. When you embrace your abilities and allow solitude to shape you, you become unbreakable. You no longer wait for approval or direction. You walk forward with confidence, guided by your own inner truth. And the world around you begins to shift, because nothing is more powerful than a person who finally believes in themselves. Remember, doubt holds you back, belief sets you free. Trust your abilities. Embrace solitude. Together, they become the twin forces that lead you to strength, purpose, and fulfillment. Lesson 10. Face your fears alone. Fear has a way of shrinking our lives. It whispers that we're not ready, not strong enough, not worthy. And if we listen, it builds invisible walls around us. Behind those walls are the opportunities we never take, the dreams we never pursue, and the parts of ourselves we never discover. Avoiding fear doesn't keep us safe. It keeps us small. The path to freedom begins the moment you turn toward fear instead of away from it. Alone, without anyone to hold your hand, you confront what has been holding you captive. At first, the fears may be small, a conversation you've avoided, a new challenge you've delayed. a truth you've been unwilling to face. But each time you stand up to fear, you build strength. Courage grows like a muscle. It develops only when you use it. The Buddha once said, "Even death is not to be feared by one who has lived wisely." When you live with wisdom and presence, fear loses its grip. It no longer dictates your choices because you begin to see it for what it is. Not an immovable wall, but a test, an illusion, a shadow that dissolves when met with light. Start small. Face the little fears that weave into your daily life. Speak when your voice trembles. Step into an experience that feels uncomfortable. Each small victory chips away at fear's power. Over time, what once seemed terrifying becomes manageable, and what once felt impossible becomes natural. Buddhism teaches that suffering cannot be overcome by running away. The only way is through, by facing reality directly, without flinching. Fear is no different. When you confront it, you see its true nature, and you discover strength you didn't know you had. Alone, this practice is even more transformative. Without relying on the comfort of others, you learn to trust yourself. Each time you stand on your own 2 feet, you prove that you are capable of meeting life head-on. This self-reliance becomes a deep well of confidence, a reminder that you have everything you need within you. Think of the Buddha under the Bodhi tree, facing Mara, the embodiment of fear, temptation, and distraction. Mara tried to shake him with visions and doubts, but the Buddha did not run. He sat in stillness, unwavering. In that confrontation, fear lost its power, and enlightenment was born. His story is not just ancient history, it is a lesson for us. Fear can be defeated, but only if we face it directly. Each fear you overcome becomes a stepping stone. It lifts you higher, gives you perspective, and builds resilience. Fear doesn't disappear. It transforms. It becomes fuel, sharpening your strength and guiding you closer to your potential. So do not run. Meet your fears in the silence of your own courage. One small act of bravery at a time. Build the confidence that no storm can take away. The goal is not to live without fear. It is to live with fear but refuse to let it rule you. When you face your fears alone, you don't just overcome obstacles. You reclaim your freedom. You unlock the doors that once seemed closed and step into a life filled with possibility, strength, and fulfillment. Lesson 11. Develop the art of self-discipline. There's a simple truth that separates those who grow into their full potential from those who don't. Discipline. Without it, dreams stay locked in your mind, never becoming reality. Without it, opportunities slip through your fingers, and potential remains just that, potential. But with discipline, even the impossible begins to move within reach. Self-discipline is not about harshness or rigid control. It is about loyalty to your own highest goals. It is the steady inner strength that keeps you walking forward when distractions tempt you to wander, when comfort begs you to stop, and when doubt whispers that you should quit. The Buddha once said, "To conquer oneself is a greater task than to conquer others." The greatest victory in life is not measured in wealth, titles, or trophies. It is measured in how well you master your own mind, your impulses, your habits, and your choices. The world outside is unpredictable, but the world within can be trained. And when it is, nothing can shake you. Discipline begins small. It may look like waking up at the same time each morning, choosing meditation over scrolling, or finishing what you start even when no one is watching. These small acts may seem ordinary, but together they create momentum. Each act of consistency lays another brick in the foundation of your future. Over time, you build a structure strong enough to hold your biggest dreams. Consistency is everything. Anyone can be disciplined for a day. True strength is found in showing up again and again, especially on the days when you don't feel like it. It's in those moments, when you keep going despite fatigue or temptation, that discipline sharpens into resilience. Buddhism calls this right effort, one of the noble eightfold path's guiding principles. Right effort is not frantic or forced. It is steady, balanced, and intentional. It's the choice to replace harmful habits with healthy ones, to cultivate clarity over confusion, to keep aligning your life with wisdom and compassion. Solitude makes this practice even more powerful. When you are alone, there is no one else to hold you accountable. Every choice becomes yours alone. And in that independence, discipline takes root. Each time you keep a promise to yourself in solitude, your confidence grows. You begin to trust your own word, and that trust becomes unshakable. The Buddha's life itself is a testament to discipline. Before his enlightenment, he endured years of rigorous practice, long meditations, ethical restraint, and relentless self-examination. Though extreme asceticism taught him that balance was necessary, it was still his unwavering discipline that allowed him to sit beneath the Bodhi tree and remain there until truth revealed itself. His story shows us that discipline is not punishment. It is devotion to something greater. When you live with discipline, your goals stop being distant illusions. They become milestones you can reach, one step at a time. Discipline gives you the strength to keep moving through resistance, to rise after setbacks, and to stay committed when distractions pull at you. So make discipline a companion, not a burden. Let it shape your days, not with rigidity, but with purpose. Conquer the battle within, and watch how every other challenge begins to bend before you. Remember, the greatest victory is the one over yourself. With discipline as your foundation, you hold the power to transform your potential into achievement and your life into one of fulfillment, freedom, and purpose. Lesson 12. Learn from failures. For many, failure is a word heavy with shame. It feels like proof that we are not enough, a sign that we should give up. And because of this, countless dreams are abandoned before they ever have a chance to grow. But here is the truth. Failure is not the end of the path. It is the very soil in which growth takes root. Fear of failure creates invisible chains. It keeps you inside your comfort zone, away from risks and new possibilities. Yet every great achievement, every life transformed, has been built on moments of falling short. Failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher, and one of the most honest teachers you will ever have. The Buddha once said, "The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. Success or failure, win or loss, these matter far less than integrity. If you remain true to your values and continue forward with authenticity, there is no such thing as true failure. There is only learning, only refinement, only progress. Every setback carries a message. When something doesn't work out, pause and reflect. What was this experience trying to teach me? What can I do differently next time?" In these questions lies the gift of resilience. Reflection turns defeat into wisdom, while avoidance only turns defeat into regret. Greatness is not the absence of failure. It is the ability to stand up again and again, each time wiser than before. Every fall is a stepping stone. Each mistake is a mirror, showing you where to adjust, where to grow, and where your hidden strength lies. Buddhism reminds us that suffering and failure are not detours from the path. They are the path. Every disappointment can sharpen your awareness, deepen your understanding, and soften your heart with compassion. When seen this way, failure stops being a wound and becomes a doorway. The Buddha himself faced failures before awakening. He pursued extreme ascetic practices, nearly destroying his body in the process, only to realize that this was not the way. Each misstep, each failed attempt, brought him closer to the middle way, the balance that led to enlightenment. His journey reminds us that failure is not wasted effort, it is guidance in disguise. Facing failure alone is especially powerful. Without anyone to soften the blow, you are forced to lean on your own resilience. You discover that even in your lowest moments, you still carry the strength to rise. That discovery is priceless. It proves to you that your foundation is strong. So stop fearing failure. Welcome it as a companion on your path. Let every stumble refine your steps, every mistake sharpen your focus, and every setback strengthen your spirit. True success is not built by avoiding failure. It is built by embracing it, learning from it, and allowing it to transform you. Each time you fail, you are not moving backward. You are moving closer to your potential, closer to the person you are meant to become. Remember, failure is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that you are trying, that you are daring, that you are alive. And if you listen to its lessons, it will always lead you forward. Lesson 13. Stay consistent. Enthusiasm can carry you through the first steps of any journey, but without consistency, that energy fades. One day you move forward with passion, the next day you fall back into old habits. Progress begins to stall, and soon doubt creeps in. Am I really capable of changing? The truth is simple. Consistency is the quiet force that shapes destinies. It isn't dramatic, it isn't flashy, but it is steady, and that steadiness is what turns potential into reality. Just as muscles grow, not from a single workout but from repeated effort, your character strengthens not through rare bursts of discipline, but through daily devotion to your path. The Buddha expressed this truth beautifully. A jug fills drop by drop. Great change is never sudden. It is the sum of small, persistent actions. Each meditation, each mindful breath, each intentional choice is a single drop. Alone, it may seem insignificant, but together, they fill the vessel of your life. Consistency builds momentum. Habits, once repeated, begin to carry you forward almost effortlessly. At first, discipline feels like pushing a heavy wheel uphill. But with enough steady effort, the wheel turns smoothly, and momentum works in your favor. Each small success makes the next step easier, creating a cycle of growth that feeds on itself. In Buddhism, this is the essence of right effort: ongoing, balanced commitment to your practice. Enlightenment does not come from dramatic moments of insight alone. It comes from showing up day after day, even when your mind resists. The Buddha's own awakening was not the result of one night of meditation, but years of steadfast practice. His story reminds us that the extraordinary is born out of ordinary, repeated effort. Consistency becomes even more essential when you walk alone. Without others to push you, it is your inner resolve that carries you forward. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust in your own word. That trust is powerful. It creates a self-reliance that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Think of your daily actions as seeds. Plant them consistently, water them patiently, and in time, they will bear fruit. Skip the planting, and you harvest nothing. Stay consistent, and your garden grows, quietly, steadily, until one day it flourishes in full bloom. Consistency is not about perfection. You will stumble, miss days, and face setbacks. What matters is returning, again and again, to the path you've chosen. Progress comes not from avoiding failure, but from persisting despite it. So, honor the small steps. Show up daily, even when the results are invisible. Trust the process and let consistency become your greatest ally. Remember, success is not a single leap forward. It is 1,000 small steps taken with unwavering commitment. A jug fills drop by drop, and with every drop of effort you give, you bring yourself closer to the life you are meant to live. Final thoughts. Walking your own path. You've now walked through 15 timeless lessons, each one a step towards strength, clarity, and freedom. From facing fears and failures to trusting yourself, from embracing solitude to staying consistent, these are not just teachings to hear once and forget. They are seeds, waiting to be planted in the soil of your daily life. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us again and again that the greatest journey is inward. No one else can walk this path for you. No mentor, no friend, no partner can hand you enlightenment or fulfillment. But what they cannot give, you already carry within you: the courage, the discipline, the compassion, and the resilience to shape your destiny. Think of where you are now. Each challenge you've faced, each doubt you've survived, each small act of effort you've made, it has brought you here. And from here, you have a choice: to return to the familiar or to walk forward into growth. The path may not always be easy, but it is yours. And walking it with intention is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Remember, progress is not measured in leaps, but in consistent steps. A jug fills drop by drop. A life transforms choice by choice. Stay true to yourself, trust in your abilities, and keep moving forward, even when the way feels uncertain. This is your journey. Own it, embrace it, live it fully. If these lessons spoke to you, carry them with you, not just as words, but as practices. And if this message gave you strength, let it ripple outward. Share it with others who may need it. And for more wisdom and guidance like this, join us by subscribing. Each week we bring you deeper teachings and reflections to help you walk your path with clarity and strength. The journey is yours alone, but you never walk it truly alone. We walk it together, step by step, toward peace, purpose, and awakening.